talk. Just a little bit. All right, we're ready. Call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any changes or additions to the agenda?
I have none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion 3-0. Consent agenda?
All right, you have two sets of minutes, last week's work session and our last council meeting, and then the receivables and payables. We have one more payable to add. We just got this invoice today. The annual membership to the Waseca Sportsman's Club for the police department, you know, for their range qualifying. So we put that in this week's payments. That's $500. And there's just a couple things in here that Andrew and I looked at over today. There's some Bolton and Mink invoices for safe routes and then for this year's street project. You'll notice it says LeSueur, Waseca County Public Health. That's the food license for the clubhouse. And then the only other one to point out is we do have the 2014 street project. We had some bond interest payments to make, so we made that. It was like $9,000. But that's all I have.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public forum? Public forum? Public forum? Nobody this week? Notice and communications?
Don't have any.
Oh yeah, you got paychecks.
Yeah, you got paychecks sitting in front of you.
Council reports. Jimmy?
No, I don't think we've had anything.
No, we have to reschedule our, personnel committee meeting.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I heard that. Okay. Administrative reports.
Not much to it this meeting. We have the April reconciliation from the bank in the packet there. The cash balance report was dated last Friday, and then you have the golf course comparisons. And like Andy just said, we were gonna possibly reschedule our personnel committee meeting tonight, but we can't, so. I was at the city manager conference Wednesday through Friday of this week up in Nisswa, and it was put on very well. I mean, there's a lot of really good information in there, so that was good. When I was driving home, I realized I got too busy listening to the radio and I missed the detour. It was about 25 miles west of where I should have been before I realized it. Nice day for a drive. Who cares, right?
Yeah. When will have they decided on this pay for necessary people, educators, daycare?
The
Have
bill-
we finished that?
They did sign the bill into law, and now they're setting up the information on the website for
Okay.
people to apply.
So you don't know what the initial, because it's 45 days, I was gonna say, would be nice to,
Yeah.
remind people that
Yes.
qualify to get the application done.
Yep.
And, kinda give us a heads up
Yep.
when the date starts, so we can, try to identify people.
And, I was, in what you're saying here too, Jim, I was thinking today that when we do find out that date, I'll let all employees know.
Right.
'Cause it's general
It's almost
government
everybody.
workers.
It's almost everybody.
Yeah.
And the people at the
And
nursing home,
fire,
and the
of course.
daycares, and the
Yep.
food service, and,
Yep.
teachers, and janitors, and so, yeah, I think we need to make sure that everybody that's available that can possibly apply for it goes for it.
Yep.
All right, just keep us in the loop.
And it did say, Initially, they said $750 per person, but they said it could be more depending on how many people apply in Minnesota. Well, I'm pretty sure.
But the minimum
People are
is
gonna apply.
$750.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I read
Yeah.
too. That's a nice program to put some money in people's hands. There goes inflation about 2 more points, but
Right.
I'm good with that.
That's right. That's all I have.
Motion to approve the administrator report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Got Mike? Yeah, that'd be great. Mike Sano, Fire Chief, here to represent the department head this week.
Okay, got a few things going on in the fire department. We did some LP training last Wednesday. I don't know if you heard about it, and that's kind of the talk of the town, that we had a big fire out by the Andy's house out there where they piled the snow up. That was us out there training. It was pretty good training for a really good team builder. And then Saturday we did house burn over in Madison Lake. I think we took 6 people over to that, and actually got our new firefighter experience looking and observing inside. She can't set her loose yet, but she's really working out well for us so far. June 4th and 5th will be our first week that we are implementing our paid on call. We have 3 people signed up for it right now, and quite a few maybes.
What were we looking for, 6?
4.
4? Okay.
So, Memorial Weekend, we have enough in town that we didn't need to implement it, so which kind of surprised me, but we're gonna try it out and see how it works for us. And then, the other thing we're looking at as a department, our main engine going out right now is 2004. Traditionally, they're on a 15-year program, so it's passed. We understand that capital expenditures hasn't been kept up enough to make this happen anywhere near. Currently, most of the vendors right now that make fire trucks, it's about a 3-year, by the time, if we said build us one today, it'd be about 3 years before you saw one. So it's time we gotta start planning that. But looking at that, we're also looking at, remember we sold the rescue truck to Darfur for $10,000. We talked about putting that towards a pickup to drag the 4-wheeler, the boats, whatever needs to go out, use it for training, bringing hoses back, so we're not using personal pickups for that. But it was discussed at our meeting the other night that we didn't want to do this if it's going to get expensive and put our first engine out back more another year. We didn't want to do that.
What year is that engine scheduled for?
There isn't really
For the brush
was
truck?
this the brush truck or the engine?
No, for the engine.
It was,
Oh,
To
really,
replace
it
21.
was 21 is when it was due, but on our
Right.
we don't have the money for it.
Yeah,
We didn't ask for it. We
3-4
didn't.
years or something.
Yeah, we got a few. That engine, it's going to take about $500,000 to $600,000 to replace it. It's not a.
What type of value is there to the whole 4?
What we do
Yeah.
is we move that into the second out, and then the 89 will go out of service. If you get 10-15,000 for it, that's what you see them on the used market for that age. The pump's worth more than the truck is, and the chassis is worth more than as a fire truck, or as a regular truck than it is a fire truck. But we are looking for a truck and trailer. We're kind of nosing around pricing and stuff, see what it would, just so you guys are aware that we're looking at that and looking at combination of ways of funding that. With that $10,000 we got for the rescue, we do have some gambling money left that I would like to put towards it maybe, and then the rural fund would probably be where, because every time we use that, a 4-wheeler boat, they're dragging stuff back to the fire hall, it's out in the rural, so they can, that's what that fund was set up for originally, that type of stuff. Just looking at prices right now, I just want to let you know that we're looking. But we will be, with the time frame, I don't know if it's going to stay that far out for the engine. We may start a committee up first part of next year into this year, just kind of looking at so we can get a price on the engine. We know you're not gonna get one in the next year or two, but it's a 2 to 3 year wait right now.
Did Toby give you the name of that place out in West Salem, Wisconsin?
For a trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
The last time I bought a new one was, well, last year actually, and they were, on the trailer I was looking at, they were about $3,000 cheaper than anywhere else was.
Yep, we're looking around, we'd like to keep it local, but if it's for $3,000, I guess we can drive out to,
And $3,000 was also 30%, so.
yeah, I mean, it's a 30% difference, we can.
Right.
And then as far as runs go, our fiscal year runs November 1st through October 31st, the fire department's fiscal year. We're on pace this year to outdo last year, and last year we had 220 runs. Very similar mix that we've had last year, just more of it. There's not one thing that stands out any more than, the calls to, Bridgewater have decreased in the last 3-4 months, but, we were getting 6-8 a month there, and that has decreased down to 1 or so a month, which helps us, but everything else has picked up. So we're on pace to be a little over what we were last year if the next 6 months pan out to what this is. Any questions for me?
Did you get a hold of Simply
Yes.
Safe? Good.
Yep, got an application, I think it's being filled out tonight.
Good.
You can hit the Haydays department up for some too, if you'd like. There's an application form available for that too.
Did not know that, thank you.
Yes. I know we just kinda started it, and KDKL was working on the application thing, and I actually got an email today that it's done. But I know the golf course was gonna talk to us, and fire department's more than welcome to apply as well. There's a little funds there, overrun from Haydays the past few years, we're looking to get back in the community.
Good for you guys.
Thanks for the info, we'll definitely look into that.
I'll get that form emailed to you, Mike.
Okay, any other questions for me?
I don't think so.
I think my first few months haven't been too bad as chief, so.
Well, you ain't got people quitting yet, so good for you.
Can't afford to work.
This minute.
We're short.
Thanks, Mike.
About a year, but
June,
10 months.
July, yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Old business, pay estimate number 1.
All right. Basically, the important part of tonight's meeting is this. So when we do our street and utility projects each summer, we do, once a month, we make a pay estimate to the contractor. So this will be the first one for this year's project. You will see pay estimates at the first meeting of each month, for the next several months. So tonight's pay estimate, number 1, is a little more than $391,000. It's pretty big, but the first pay estimate always is because we're paying for all the
Materials on hand.
materials they pre-bought, that only makes sense. So, on the screen there is basically the first page of the estimate, and you can kind of probably understand it as you read it, but, it just goes down from the very top there, the original contract, total work completed to date, and then we always take 5% of a retainer to keep until the very, very, very end. And that's, so you can kind of see those numbers, and it works out that way. So tonight's pay estimate is $391,577.
Make a motion, we pay that?
Okay.
Second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye. One comment on this item.
Yep.
John had mentioned last meeting that we need to be careful where they're driving, and they are on less than 10-ton streets. So maybe remind WW that they should stay on either the construction road or 10-ton access roads, not any of the other city streets. I've seen
Okay.
3 trucks on.
We have a construction meeting Wednesday morning, we can
Okay.
mention it quickly
Good.
then.
I've seen them on streets other than the construction street or 10,000, or a 10-ton road, and they should be more conscious of that. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, we'll mention that at the construction
Yep.
meeting.
All right.
Yes.
Question, kind of, is the last payoff been done for?
No.
It has not been done.
Okay, I just wondered if that project had been cleared out.
Well, the hope with the same contractor and being in town is that that stuff would get taken care of this summer, would be the ultimate goal. Anything else? Yep. Proposed schedule for the 2023 budget.
Yeah, I put together the schedule for our different city council meetings we have coming up beginning in July throughout the rest of the summer for the budgets. Please note that when the department heads are scheduled to be here that night, that's when we put their department on the agenda, so this is just a good guide for us. It's a good start. Look it over if you have any questions. We've been pretty much doing this the last 2 or 3 years, and it's always worked out real well, so.
I think it'll work out well too with the new schedule for the department heads, and it should all work together good.
All right.
And final item is liquor license for Brood Awakenings Bistro.
Yeah, the Brood Awakenings, the Amanda Slaughter was originally the person whose name was on the liquor license, and that right now is going to Kendra Hain. So, you know, as the law states, we did a background check on Kendra to replace her name on the license, and we are looking to update that liquor license with her name as she passed her background check.
I have no objection, I would move that we issue that.
I have a question. They expire June 30th. Are we double hitting her here, or are we just
No.
gonna, okay,
No.
okay. I believe we have a motion.
Motion still stands.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, Andy, a lot of times if a new bar comes into town, let's say in December, we charge them.
Half the fee or whatever. 'cause
You do a
it's
ret,
June
or,
30th. Liquor license ends June 30th,
Yep.
for whatever reason,
Exactly.
so. Any more